Hello friends, welcome back to Hyrule Tours. In this series we take a closer look at specific areas in the world of Hyrule to appreciate the artistry and craftsmanship that goes into creating this amazing world. I'm very fortunate to once again be joined by the great GameOver Jesse, and I'm very excited for him to be joining on this video. Make sure to bundle up with some warm clothes because today's tourist destination is none other than the frigid icy ranges known as the Hebra Mountains. The Hebra Mountains span the northeastern corner of Hyrule. The frigid region is not the most accessible, not only due to its harsh terrain and elevation, but also because it is surrounded almost entirely by the vast Tengar Canyon. Now, I always say this, but Breath of the Wild allows you to technically enter the area from nearly any direction. But because of this mountain's proximity to the canyon and the aforementioned harsh terrain, it is most likely that the majority of players will first approach the mountain from the south side when leaving from Rito Village. Good thing too, as the village sells warm clothes that will be invaluable to surviving the climb.
Dronok's Pass, a gorge that sits at the southernmost reaches of the region, serves as a first impression for many venturing up the mountain. It also serves as a training ground for many Rito warriors, who use the flight range to hone their aerial archery skills. Legend has it that the flight range was built at the behest of the late Rito champion Revali, who used the area not only to train, but to invent the impressive technique of creating an updraft, which we know as Revali's Gale.
Heading west from here, we can find the Hebra Trailhead Lodge. The lodge was left here by Selmy, who we will visit soon, to serve as a resting spot for travelers, a safe place for any who dare to venture up the dangerous mountains, so that they may take a moment to prepare themselves. A notebook in this cabin is filled with pages of notes and thanks from the travelers that ventured this path before, and of course, a warning from Selmy herself. The mountain is dangerous, and we'll be seeing flag markers and barrels along the mountain paths that she left there as a guide. These two landmarks so far sit at the foot of the mountain. Before actually attempting to brave the summit, it is advisable to seek out the region's tower. The Hebra Tower sits at the edge of the ruined and forgotten Tabantha village. Continuing north past the village ruins, we can find the Tabantha Tundra, which is divided into the northern and southern snowfields. The fields may seem peaceful, but they too are ruled by monsters, including bokoblins that patrol on horseback, and even a trio of Lynels along the northern border of the tundra. Safe haven can be found at the stables in this southern snowfield, where travelers warm themselves at firesides.
Before we start actually heading up the mountain itself, one more area of interest sits at the very northwest of this region. The northern Lomai Labyrinth sits atop a peninsula of sorts, looming over the massive Tingar Canyon. At the center of the twisting labyrinth sits the QAZA TOKKI Shrine, but to get there, you will need to navigate the narrow corridors of this ancient structure. Ascending the mountain will not be easy, as you will need to battle your way through many enemy camps. Once we find our way to the peak of Hebra, the very top of the summit holds some interesting damage. A battle scar left in the mountain. What appears to be a hole pierces the very mountain itself. Climbing our way to the very top, the view from the summit gives us a beautiful look at the kingdom. Nearly all of Hyrule is visible from here on a clear day.
Not far from the peak of the mountain, we can find Selmy's spot. Selmy herself lives up here on her own. Her reputation as a shield surfing champion precedes her. Selmy will offer shield surfing lessons to any who brave the mountains. Surfing down the mountain not only gives us a good look at a great deal of wonderful scenery, but it's also a lot of fun to slide down the slopes of the mountain. The end of the surfing course will land us at the STURNIDA Basin and the STURNIDA Secret Hot Spring at the northern side of Lake QAZA. Despite sitting at the heart of such a chilling environment, the water in Lake QAZA is surprisingly not cold enough to harm you. Following the many arduous trails up the mountain range, we can find two particularly noteworthy cavernous areas. The first is Cold Snap Hollow, which is the home of a formidable frost talus. The second and larger of these two is the Pakita Stone Grove. We can find two ancient Sheikah shrines here. One of the standard variety, that being the Rock Uwag Shrine, and the other being the QAZA Shrine, which is part of the Champion Ballad Trials.
Nearing the northern summits behind a great stone door, we can find today's final tourist destination, the Hebra Great Skeleton. This particular set of bones stand in contrast to the other sets of massive bones found throughout the kingdom of Hyrule, as it sits alone, trapped, isolated in a cave. Yet, somehow, there is a somber peacefulness to be found among the giant skeleton.
There's still plenty to find in the Hebra region, including Pondo's Lodge, where we can participate in some snow bowling, the Goflam and Sherfin's secret hot springs, the Kopiki Drifts, where the Gi Hara Shrine sits sealed behind yet another massive stone door, and many more enemies whose challenges are only exasperated by the climate itself. As always, we'll end things off with some of the great views that these mountain ranges have to offer. Enjoy! Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. I just want to take a second to say thank you to the wonderful people who decided to support me on Patreon. In particular, I want to say thank you to those who supported at the cheese tier or higher, which would be Tetra, Brenda, and AJ. You guys may not realize it, but all the support that you guys decide to give me goes a long way, and it does mean a lot to me. So thank you so much, and I really do appreciate it.